Yerp. What's going on, everybody? I'm starting a couple minutes early. Thank you for coming out for me on Sunday. I had to do a little time shift because of yesterday. Interesting event. We had a conference on education about psychedelics in the state of Pennsylvania. So part of it was, people who are doing this are involved in the laws and the legalization stuff. But really, it was a really interesting talk about like people's different experience with psychedelics, even stuff about end of life with older people who might take a trip for the first time before dying. Not like the day they die, but something like that. It was interesting. So I was setting up the mics, doing sound for that, and then we had this after party where I did a DJ set at this cool little bar, kind of a chill out thing, and had a really good time. So I was in the zone of music last night. And and I played a couple tracks from House Volume 1 that landed really, really well in the room. I started out at like 110 BPM, came up out of like a kind of a chill out set and went up towards 120 and worked in a bunch of the tracks from our friends who are coming out on House Volume 1. And it sounded good. The masters sounded great. The music felt good. The vibe was cool, easy to listen to. And I'm super proud of all this that everybody's been doing. So let me just do a quick little promo for anybody who's watching in replay land. If you don't know what we're talking about House Volume 1, mixatexture.bandcamp.com. This is now available for pre-release, which means you can buy a copy right now. You get one track for free, the Mindbender track, and then the rest is going to become available on Friday the 26th. We got 14 tracks on here. Amazing batch of vibes. Some of them are more deep. Some of them are more techie for late night. It's a really interesting group of tracks. You can play the whole thing through and listen to it like an album, or you can pick out different sets, different tracks that would fit into a set, like a tech house set or a deep house set, or maybe some like dub. It's cool. It's a very flexible kind of thing. So order that now. Order your copy, buy a copy, help support us and the people who make this happen. Amazing mastering from Den, D-E-H-N Mastering. And this is coming out August 26th on Friday. Now we have some new releases that we're listening to now. Another little bit of news is this new course, How to EQ Your Tracks, is going to be up for early access later this week, which means you can click on this page, get the first module for free, and help test the course. You can do the first module, you can do some hands-on lessons, you can learn about EQing, you can see my special session lesson format with a tutorial built inside Live, so you actually do activities in the program to learn by doing it. And it's going to be up later this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm not going to say which day. I just got to get the... We're in testing right now to make sure that when you download it, you get everything opening up, the automation working all correctly. So I'll put up some promo and announcements about that. Mindbender had a gig and he played some of the tracks from the techno album and from the new release and said they were really good. So speaking of new releases, we're listening to Angel's Trumpet, the AFL remix. That's John Madison, mastered by Piv at Den, coming out on the Grown Out of Minimal Remixes project. So on this Plants of the Gods album, that was the original album. A bunch of us in the group did remixes, and this is one of them. And this came along really well. The really fun thing is that this original track, the first version, had all these ideas in it. Super creative guy, throwing all kinds of stuff in the mix. And we were like, yeah, those are good ideas, but that's like 5 tracks worth of music. Let's pare it down to something simple. This whole mid section sounds so good right now. I'm gonna turn it up. And it's important to have simplicity in your music, where you listen to the track, you can just sink into it and be there with that one track and not have too many surprises of like, oh shit, why did that happen, you know? Mr. Melvis, got your track coming up. Yeah, the track was too long, went through too many styles, whatever. That's normal for being a producer. That is what producing is all about. Throw all the ideas in there, boil it down, see what's the important part, and cut off the extra. That's what I do. I just picked my nose on camera. Right here, this is so... Those breaks. DJ Waters. Those cymbal breaks sound so good now. Good shit, man. I'm not gonna roll through this whole track. If you like it, you gotta wait and buy it. Another new release that's coming out is from our friend Chris Circuit, who is She was really active in the Facebook group. She hasn't been on Discord so much, mostly because she's doing a university degree in programming with visuals. So these are some things that are coming out. I'm not even sure which ones Piv has been mastering. It can be ambient electronic or noise or glitch or all kinds of styles. And she has integrated videos. We had some cool conversations where she's like one of those people that used to ride around in a techno truck and just go to like outdoor parties all the time. How interesting is that? So obviously, I'm not going to sit here and play a whole bunch of ambient music. I would love to see the videos and interactive displays that go with this. So I want to just give you a little pre-announcement of what some new releases are going to be. Max, I'm going to answer your question. Are you tired of this? Nerp. Okay, so I got a whole bunch of tracks up here for today. We're going to rip through them. A couple people put in multiple tracks. So what I like to do is, this is for all the people in replay land. We're looking for 3 things. Number 1, sound design. Does it sound original? Do all the sounds fit together in a group that sound like one track that's simple, not 20 ideas? Number 2, composition, song structure, arrangement. Can we play, listen, get a climax, feel good, have an ending? Does it have an intro? Does it flow? That's has to be there. And that's for any genre, ambient or whatever. And then number 3, the mix, obviously. Does the low end sound good? Does it drop some bass? Is it crispy on the highs? Do we have a stereo field? Does it feel like a professional track, not like some whacked out thing that makes your ears start bleeding or falling off the side of your head? So when I have a bunch of tracks, sometimes what I do is just look for like one useful piece of advice to give each person and then move on to the next track. So we might not do a complete review of like every detail that this track needs. We could spend an hour on every track. I hate to skip through tracks too fast. So I want to say that at the beginning and then get started. So instead of hearing Steve talking, you could actually hear some music. Mr. Melvis, version 2. And Discord is now closed. Boop. Oh, Shepherds. Okay, 30 minutes. Cool. That's good you said that, because you were buried at the end. Let me check the changelog here. It's feeling good so far. Yeah, drums are sounding good. The bass is sounding good. Interesting note on the piano and vocal harmony. Can that cymbal crash just go on the drop instead of right before it? 1, 2, 3, 4. I would put the crash on 155, not before it. It's not wrong to have it early, but for this style and this kind of smooth relaxation thing, I think it would work better to coordinate the crash on the beat with the drum beats coming back in. I like the clarity of the bass. I can feel the bass line and the drums just kind of together. It sits nicely. I like that percussion. So all those cymbals can move. I want to make a note on the piano that we've talked about in other people's tracks, but I haven't said it for a while. It feels like the person playing the piano is hitting the chords too hard, and they have a really bright tone on the attack of the notes. In this part, it's a breakdown. The melody is dreamy. I think the chords should be as soft a touch as possible, which means less high frequency, less of a percussive hard piano. Only in that part, because later, hear the piano, it's coming through the mix nicely. The chords just come in, duh, right? Duh. So in this breakdown section, really let us feel like the person playing the piano is laying back. Maybe they put the pedal on, the damper pedal, you know? And they're like holding the chords longer, not hitting them so hard. The basic tone is like, take off the high frequencies and maybe pull the volume back a little bit and maybe extend the note duration longer technically to create that effect. Because if you don't do that, it sounds like the piano is just cruising through at the same velocity, same volume, makes it sound like it was a mechanical programming instead of a humanized piano robot. And that adds a lot to a track when you have you remove one like synthetic kind of element to it, just make it feel like it's live. All right, what are you guys saying about the kick drum in there? So the bass line is nice and clear. The kick drum does not have a low, heavy thump. Buh, buh, buh. Right? Let me get some low EQ on here. When I try to turn up the low EQ, I get more bass line. I don't get any more kick drum. So the bass line's a little too big compared to the kick. We could use a bit more of a percussion kick feel. And because of the genre, we don't really... Is this 100 BPM? That sounds too slow. Oliver, okay, bass could go down, kick is fine. Yeah, I would try bringing the bass line down a little bit, maybe taking the kick drum up a little bit, but first take the bass line down. I like how the bass is nice and clear as a sound, but the bottom bump could be a bit more. Oh, it is 100. Okay, well, good. So I think that's gonna do it for mixed notes because we got a bunch of tracks to move on to. Let's check the ending. Oh, we get the kick by itself. Good, good, good. Yeah, the kick by itself is a cool sound. Oh, oh. And then I think you could trim the ending. After that last sweep, as the sweep is going up, you could fade the hi-hat volume down. 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, end. About 551 could be the ending. These hi-hats at this point right now are like, somebody tell the drummer to stop. Ringo. Cool, man. That track is really coming along. Mostly the best thing about it is it feels good. The voice feels good. The chords feel good. The mix is pretty close to in shape. Now we're down to just technical things of getting the mix levels in a nice focus for this version 3 Big D. So let's keep moving on. We're going to do Shepard's because he's got to go. If anybody else has to leave to get back to their busy Sunday, let me know. And I think we might be getting ready for some 140. No. Can I imagine 140 without knowing it? I was too fast. Mr. Melvis, no, the DJ should have the mix ready long before that, and those little hi-hats are... After that riser happens, the new track coming in for that like genre, I wouldn't really need those hi-hats to like segue into the next track. I would be thinking of the sound of the vocal being like the last big element we hear. The kick drum at the end of your track where we heard the kick drum by itself, that's the piece I would have as the last thing I play before a new track comes in. And those extra hi-hats were just like I mean, they're not gonna kill your track, but for a person listening in the car or like listening at track one by one, it's too much extra at the end, I think. Okay, Shepherds. It's a bit crunchy. Rough mix, all right, cool. Check the changelog notes. I love how people put in so many changelog notes. Hold on, what was that break? That does sound like broken glass. All right, rough mix, few automations. Want to get this feedback today, yeah. Yeah, Max, that genre, the end of the song needs an ending, not like a long tail mix out. All right, cool, I hear like the Shepherd's layers coming in. So this, at 122, when that new sound comes in, I'm guessing you're probably gonna fade that in, so it's sort of like, it's not so obvious when it starts. That's one of the things I like about your style, is that sounds come to the surface and go back, and it's not exactly clear where they start. But the percussion has crisp sections. Yes, I like how that was really nice and loud when the kick drum came out. Something about the kick drum is, one of the crunchy layers feels like it's too much low frequency crunch, but I can hear there's a big powerful kick in there. Ian, what do you think about these kicks? Go, go, go. I like the reverb space. All right, that's great. I really like how those little break moments are very loud, and then the kick comes back in, and it's like all bass again. .55 hertz low end. Oh, oh. Yeah, good. I was waiting for a new sound to happen right around now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What is that? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Cool. I could use a little closed hi-hat coming in pretty soon. Do tick, 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 tick. Around 313. Oh, Ian, thank you. Tutorial section, kick project file. Yes, I did see that last week, or a couple days ago. I think the percussion needs like a little closed hi-hat on the upbeat. Tick, 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 tick. Because it feels a bit empty right now, like it's only kick drum. I keep talking at the wrong moment. Yes, yes, the ear candy, the breaks. This percussion is cool. That is really cool. It's like, yeah, Paul, some of the little breaks are a little bit too loud, but in this case, too loud is better than not loud enough. This right here. All right, this is where the track is like, oh my God. Oh my God, that is so cool. We're gonna rewind. That part. Okay. This part is like the main vibe of the track for me. Those little fast little glitchy things, that's better than a hi-hat. I don't know what it is, but it like hits that fast percussion thing. And then that shit, so good. Right here. This makes it feel faster, right? Yeah, now this feels like it could go back to the ending. So in the structure, early, it took a little bit too long to get to this like really exciting part. I like this for like a big, simple climax section where we get to, but some of this kind of zone here around a minute feels like it's only kick drum, just like pow, 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 and there's not enough other percussion around it. And the grinding distortion is just like, so I think I've made myself clear. I like this rhythm. Let's check the ending. Yes. It's like a scratchy thing. This is great right here. And the grinding rumble ending. So actually, yeah, I think you could have a little bit of a hi-hat or ride percussion at the first half of the track, maybe distorted or whatever, to give just a bit of more of like something else other than only kick drum and distortion. And then this ending part right here, this is where I want like 5 minutes of only this. Tick, 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 tick. Right here, so good. Yeah. Max, more overhead layers like ride, cymbal, hi-hats, yeah, stuff like that. So play with the percussion a little bit. Mix is pretty good. And my favorite thing stylistically is that the gaps where the kick drum drops out are not predictable as much as before. There was a while when your tracks had kind of a predictable thing. It's really cool that the drums, the moment when it drops out is perfect, like 16 bars or 8 or 32. So the timing of when the break happens should be predictable, but the exact rhythmic process should not. So the predictable part was like cutting out the kick drum, wait, boom, 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 and then bring it back in. So it's really cool that in these little gaps, you're doing more sound design tweaks, effects tweaks, ear candy things, and they're loud, and little drum breaks and stuff. So it's like, wow, oh my God. It perfectly sounds like the name Broken Glass. It feels like somebody's breaking stuff, which can be fun sometimes. Oliver, last part would be cooler as an intro. Yeah, maybe a little piece of that clicky part up front to tease it and then wait till we get back to it. So Shepard, that's going in a good direction. I would predict version 3 for the Big D. And let's move on now. Rise of the Machines. All right, get ready. Good stereo field right off.
The life you know, all the stuff you take for granted, it's not gonna last. Imagine a world of permanent darkness, where machines control man's destiny.
Rumble. Wow.
Imagine you were the only one who could stop it.
I think this vocal could be a little louder. There we go. Okay, broadcast level going up. Let's say the track is gonna live right there. All right, I'm loving that. The opening vocal with the apocalyptic Terminator intro sounds, that storytelling voice I think could be a little louder.
If you take for granted, it's not gonna last.
Yeah, we should hear that a little bit more on top of the mix.
Imagine a world of permanent darkness, where machines control man's destiny.
That stereo is great.
You were the only one who could stop it.
Yes, man. I like those cymbals. This part sounds great.
Residents of hell.
Whoa. Whoa, there's a melody in there. Can you bring that melody up a little bit louder? This is fucking crazy. Yeah, I can't hear the voice right here. Need more of that. This is solid. This part, perfect right here.
Residents of hell.
Wow. All right, I'm not sure if this is good for like dinner music, but maybe in the Waters household, they're like, all that shit is great, ear candy and everything. All right, so where was that melody? 140? Right here? This melody should be a lot louder because that's an important part of like the floating over the beat. You can see it right here in that. All right, vocals and melody is the least of your worries. Well, that's good because all about the kicks. I think the low end and the drums are working really, really well. That one big clean snare drum that like interrupts it is really good. All that is good. The high frequency is good. A couple of spots are a little too scratchy in that high frequency area. But right here, that's big and clean. I like how there's a constant buzz, like, it's like somebody drilling. Yeah, this is the surprise bonus track on the Downbeat compilation. Anybody have any opinions on the low end kick drum percussion power? Because I'm feeling really good about the drum mix. Yeah, like right there at 240, the high frequencies bother me a little bit. So bring up the vocals, bring up the melody, watch for the high frequency scratchy stuff, which is kind of going to be a final mix thing. And I think the low end kick drums, bass relationships are really good. So don't change that. And that's version 1. That's very polished, I got to say. However, version 3 of Not Giving a Fuck. Did we review this last week? I think we might have done this one already. Yeah, that version 1 is good. Good vocal treatment. 14 layers. Ian, can you tell us on version 3, are you done here? Or what do you need for feedback? Read the changelog? I don't want to read. I want techno. Right. Version 3. Removed a layer, distorted tails, kicks seem more up front. 1 minute shorter. Okay. I don't even remember what it sounded like before, but this sounds so good I didn't feel the need to comment. I thought it sounded done. Right here. This is really good. All right, Shepherds, nice work, man. See you in Discord. And by the way, people love the videos that you made. Just want to let you know, Shepherds made the preview videos for House Volume 1, and they're really good. Ian, I don't have any comments except keep going. Oh. We were talking about that brass instrument melody sound. Did you bring that lead down? I remember asking if you could bring that down because it sounded like it was too far out away from the rest of the music. It feels like it's working now. Yeah. Did you hear that at 249? Listen to that little triplet. 249. That's cool. Really good percussion. Really good percussion details. Ah, yes. Yeah, right here. Oh, you did a low pass filter on the brass? It fits better now. Right here. I really like that section. Yeah, it's got the thump, it has the buzz, the crackle kind of thing on top, high frequency, the gaps, like the whole world of DJ Waters is in that last 10 seconds. All right, man. I don't think I have any tips on this one. It should be a little longer though. No, I'm kidding. That sounds really good. Version 3, so I think maybe version 4, put it up for mastering. And I'm gonna keep saying it. Some of your tracks, some moments in your tracks have this like high frequency burst that just gets me every time, and I'm like, fuck. So please tell your mastering people. It sounds like if you rip a piece of paper really quickly, like, and somebody did that right in your ear and you were sleeping. That's how that frequency affects me. Okay, let's keep going. Breathing. I think we might have a little bit of a change of vibe right now. EQ back to flat, stereo width. Too many cymbals. That was good. Right at 9, that cymbal. And 14, the cymbal, the breath is good. The cymbal is the wrong high frequency because it conflicts with the breathing. Yeah, there we go. I like this bleepy melody. This one really sounds like the title, Breathing. Kick drum is a little buried, could be bigger. I feel like the track hasn't dropped yet though, so let's wait. Whoa, is the bass getting louder right there? Let's come back to that 110. Okay, the kick drum has to be more prominent. And there's some rumbly thing that goes boom. Right there at 152. What is that? I like that glitchy thing. It sounds like a beat repeat. Right here. There we go. All right, good. Okay. Awesome. All right, this track has to be like 6 minutes. This is gonna be epic. The top end loops are good. The hi-hat, snare, clap thing, that's all kind of cool. The melody is really nice, hypnotic. There we go, yeah. That low sub bass note should come lower, down a little bit in volume and get the kick drum up a little bit. Bow, 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 bow. You knew I would say what, the name Breathing? Okay. Or you knew I would say about the beat repeat part? I should have done feedback from the psychedelic event. No, everybody was like comparing gummies and getting stickers and further stuff. All right, so this is like the track, right? Oh, that it needs to be longer, yeah. So what I would do in this situation, for everybody out there in replay land, a mix tip I like to get is identify the core of the track and make a 16-bar loop where everything is in, and you have it like, this is where the record is. Meaning, like, if you're at a record store, you grab the record, you drop the needle to find out, like, what am I getting? That you identify the section of the track that has, like, everything in, and loop that, and then mix that. So it's got, you still have some headroom, but everything is up loud, the kick drum is huge, melody, beats, stereo, all that stuff is working in that section. Then work backwards, go back to the intro, and listen through and ask, like, is something too loud in the intro, even though it sounds perfect later on? That's where you might need to do some filtering, some automation or something like that. So for this track, what I would do is mix it in this part to get the kick up, sub bass down a little bit, melody up a little bit. The long intro is definitely good. I really like the evolution. That melody part is cool. Did we get an ending? I like these sounds a lot. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oof, oof. So that's not the ending. That's a little intermission, and then the beat comes back. Okay. Cool, man. That's good shit. And it's great to hear that you're going into different genres, different BPM. Your tracks are not always like the same genre, but they still always feel like that kind of dreamy world. So that's cool. Who is Tim Laws is not here, right? Danette's clearly not here. Is Paul Robinson here? Mind Better? Nobody's here. I was looking for music from people who are on the stream to review while they're here, and then we'll just go for the other ones so that we can catch some comments, make this useful. How about that? So EQ flat. Oh, Max, good comment. I like the sound. Get tired of the 2 notes. Can you play a bit more notes sometimes? Yes. All right, OSP, glad to see you got a new track. Let's hear this. Ooh. Ooh. Whoa. That kick drum comes in nice. Oh, Paul, you're here. That's right. You were on Albania time or something? Good, we'll grab your track. I like that snare. It's kind of like a knock. That delay thing. That's a great sound. Filter opening up. Man, I'm in the groove on this one. Hi-hat swing is really cool too. On the left side, it's like ticka, 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 ticka. Oh, Pivput's here. I would play this. Yes, growing. See, that's a nice high frequency. It's kind of wispy and airy without that scraping part, which I like. Those hi-hats came in a little too soon. I don't think you need the hi-hats yet. The synths are really cool. And just the synth filtering and layering. Oh, those kick, wait, okay. What happens if we have no hi-hats at all until the drop? Just listen and imagine you're only hearing the synth filters. Pretend you don't hear the hi-hats. Wow. Oh, that pulse. Mr. Melvis, thanks for hanging out. Good job. Keep it coming back. Yes, and those kick drums. I'm sorry. So Oliver, I don't think you need the hi-hats, personally. But the sound that definitely should be in there is the one with the delay that goes sha-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. That sound is what is important in the breakdown. Right here. Sha-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. Keep that sound and take out the tick-tick hi-hats. Oh, those kick drums are so good. Sha-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. That sound is like making the whole track for me. Oh my God. Bop-bop. Yes, that's like the Randy Adams sound. Like a new little sound about 2 minutes in. Bop-bop. This is awesome right here. Yeah, man. Oh, new percussion. This is done. Right here at this moment. All these little things coming in and out. Good detail in the percussion. Those little ghost hits. Maybe some of the low frequency at the beginning of that. Some of that extra low stuff doesn't. Feels a little bit muddy. You know what I mean? This bass is cool. The next sound has. Right there, there's a conflict around like that 100 to 200 area. Yeah. There's like a woo kind of thing that isn't so good. So check that new at this part of the track around under 200 hertz, 150 or something. Scoop out the low end of there so it doesn't overlap with the cool bass flow. What are you hearing? A small glitch at the end of the high chords? I didn't hear that, but... Whoa, now this is growing again. What a good effect. Where did the ride cymbal come in? I'm just analyzing this. There's a filter opening up, the sweep is like getting louder, and then a ride comes in. All right, solid drop right here. Now the ride is fading up. Now I'm aware of the ride, and the synth is growing. This is amazing, the way this layering is going. Solid right here. Awesome. I like that little fast burst of high frequency right here. 449. That was cool. During the break, the mid main synth that came after the first drop. Ah, that kick drum is so good. Now we're down to the simple ending part, just kind of like low end, high frequency stuff is gone out. So during the break, the mid main synth that came after the first drop, you can hear is not cut perfectly. Is that right there, Max? Oh. Like a little. I can sort of hear the loop is not perfectly continuous. Rhythmically, it worked for me. It didn't sound like a mistake, so I'm not sure what you heard about that. TJ Waters, ride cymbal can come down a bit. Yep. Bit more variation on the kick pattern after the break, so it's not the same rhythm. I agree about the ride. I didn't notice that the kick needed to be different, but I understand why you say that. And the ending is feeling good. And this pulse, whoa. Oh my God. What? Did you open it up that wide? Did you open the filter that much over here? This is really cool. Okay, is the synth the same? That ending feels so big with the synth filter opening and the high frequency and the sound of it. It feels like we never heard the synth that bright before, but maybe it is right here. Huh. I love this build. One more time, is the ride too loud? The ride could come down a little bit. It's not like a problem that it's so loud, but down a little bit I think would be okay, yeah. Super solid. So Oliver, yeah, minor mix details. Really amazing work blending the sounds and growing. So let's extract a pro tip here for production land, anybody watching the replay. And I've said this so many times, the best buildups come from when you have from a sound you already have in the mix, doing something to increase the volume of that sound, bring it to the front of your attention, maybe open a filter so you get more high frequency, and then layering. So at this buildup, we had one synth growing and getting louder, as well as a ride cymbal fading up in volume. The ride actually entered the track a lot sooner and just kind of was like a creeper, and it came up like that. So the volume of the percussion is coming up and the synth are coming up together, and those two make an amazing buildup that's like this really organic growing thing that you can't get from just reversing a cymbal crash or adding a riser. So try to create risers with the sounds you have and your mix tools, rather than adding a riser as like extra salt on top of your food, if that makes sense. The Matt Schultz has now arrived. We can begin. We can begin, everyone. Super beautiful. That track is great, and I want to just hear these double kick drums again. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so a couple notes. Take out the hi-hats, tiny volume differences. I don't want to press play. I don't want to press stop, but I got to stop. Matt, you missed a fresh OSP track. It went like this. Boom, 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 boom. Seriously, Oliver, the rhythm is so cool. There were so many little details of like little hi-hats that would just be like kind of ghost notes or little bursts of high frequency static and stuff. Just really, there's like always something to listen to. So let's check it out. Back again. It's the Renegade Master. All right, kicks in full speed. Is this the first draft you made on vacation? Is that right? My first impression is the kick drum is not as clean as the track we were just listening to, which is fine. Kick could be a little... I would say this one, the kick drum should be a shorter duration because we have that bass line that's big at the bottom too. I'll be right back. I gotta turn on a fan in here. I like that hi-hat. What did I miss? What did I miss? Matt needs an intro. Yep. Yeah, it's freaking hot up here. Let's check in mono. Good sounds overall. Very rough first version. Okay, no problem. Need to pull the mix in shape. I like the high chirpy layer of the synth. Old school vibe, yeah, right? Right there, you can see exactly what the bass line is doing that is a problem for the kick drum. This part's hypnotic. Oh, different headphones, right? Yeah. I really like that high frequency synth. It's like a continuous blip. That makes the track for me. A little bit like drum breaks for the snare taps. Almost like a breaks track. Wait. This one, the ride is a little bit too loud at the moment. Oh, wow. Nice. All the elements are in place. Okay, so we got some mix notes at the beginning of the show. For anybody who missed it, one of the most important parts about a track is the palette of sounds you're choosing. So what are like the colors of sound, the range of different textures, or how do the sounds fit together as a group? And this is a great track. All the different sounds just blend, like, which is cool. Matt, Ride has too much bottom end, interferes with the mid-rangey synths. Mix-wise, so a kick drum needs to come up a little bit, and maybe I would lose some of the high, maybe choose a different kick drum, because this kick has a fuzz to it. Maybe take a bunch of the high frequency down off the kick drum and make it a shorter duration, because we got a big dubby bass, right? Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. And since we have 8 minutes, let's skip forward a little bit. Right now, I just want to understand how many different sounds are coming in to get an idea of like what's the total amount of sound we got to work with. A Steve Nods bleep, right? Ian, that's a really good comment. It got too busy too soon. Yeah. This is a good moment. Bassline, lead synth, and the beats. I like this part a lot right here. This is great. So, something after this 2-minute mark gets a bit jumbled. Some of those beats are a little bit too chaotic, and then we have like this sound entering. So in terms of composition, it's a bit wandering. I know it's a new version, so I'm not trying to tear you apart. Compositionally, identify sections where a sound comes in, becomes prominent, and then fades out, and then another sound can come in and take over. Kind of like Shepard's is doing, where the beats have breaks, where you get like 16 bars, there's a rhythmic break, and another chunk of beats. So in the percussion zone, when you're making a long track that's like a roller, give your percussion like chunks where you can tell you're in a phase of the track. And then for the harmony and melody and bass, have those different layers kind of smoothly coming in and out. So the synth layers don't clearly have a start and stop the way the percussion does. So like Ian is saying, strip it back, build the layers more gradually, and strip it back again to close out. I think that's a good recipe for that track. Paul, let me know if that makes sense. The recipe is strict percussion chunks where we can clearly tell where we are in like 16 bar chunks. And then on top of that skeleton, the synths are coming in and out like an octopus. I realize I just said the word octopus and asked you if it makes sense. Paul, still playing around with sections. All right, cool. This is a perfect example of what we do in track feedback. So here's a great idea, awesome sounds, good vibe. Certain moments in the track are just like a total yes. And the challenge is, how do you take all that stuff, lay it out in a format where we can go through phases and it's always simple and clear with changing things all the time and have the mix sound great. So step one was design the sounds and get a whole bunch of sounds. That's awesome. Step 2, get into the arrangement, maybe take it from 8 minutes down to 6 and get the sections flowing from one to the next. Work on the mix a little bit, and then finally we'll get the mix dialed in. This core of the idea right here is so good. And the bass line, you could listen to that forever. So nothing is getting boring in here. And the synth has a rhythm too. In fact, right here, this is a perfect example of this is exactly what you want to mix, what you want to have when you're mixing in a new record. Because you could introduce anything percussive from the new track on top of this. Easy to beat match out of here. This is a perfect foundation for mixing in a new record. I like this part right here. 133, 134. Techno Volume 2 right here. Ooh. One little resonance on that filter sweep. 133 hertz. What do you think you're doing? Yeah. All right, good shit. Bring that back. Back again. Bring back again. Back again. Matt Schultz, groove is there, drive is there, sound design is spot on. Totally. Makes sense sonically, musically, rhythmically. And for a version 1 on vacation on a laptop with new headphones, that's really good work. So keep that going. You know what else? This is a side tangent, but it just sounds like somebody had fun making it. And that may be the most important thing of all. Tim Laws continues not to be here. Donats, AFL. Don't we have a Matt Schultz? Oh, I thought we had a Matt Schultz. What would be a good track to follow Paul Robinson? I think we're going to hear Donats. Boop, 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 boop. 135. All right. Ian just downloaded a memory stick version of Reaper. Oh, okay. Donats. We're not making fun of you. You have it. It's very characteristic style. Let's hear what we got. Whoa, 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 whoa. Every time, this guy. I love it. And I want to check the changelog. I think, is this the track with the notes about the bass? Okay, swapped out the bass line, layered in something else. EQ, percussion. Fuck knows what else. I like that sound in the bass right now. And the chord thing is cool. Bow, 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 bow. Yeah, Paul, if you're in the headspace to just play around with live while you're relaxing, that's a great thing to do, is create wildly. Just make like 3 new tracks, throw all the stuff in there, and then later on you can cut them down and refine it as an idea. All right, Adam, the bass line in this track is really working better than before, or the comments we had before. Did I comment on this from Saturday? The bass line is much better in this version. The vocals are cool. You got me doing this. There's one sound you could cut out here, which is there. Okay, in this opening part, there's a synth that's going bow, 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 bow. When we get to when the beat drops out, cut that sound, because there's a new mid-range rhythmic thing coming in, and those two, it's like 2 of them in the same space. So right here, these 2 mid-range sounds are kind of conflicting. So keep the one that's like down out, down out, down out, down out. That feels like a build-up sound, and the old one, bow, bow. Yeah, watch out for those like overlapping rhythmic mid-range loops. I like these hi-hats a lot. Shika chicka, shika chicka, shika chicka. Solid right here. This is great. It's empty, simple. What just changed with the bass? $245, something new came in? The sizzling hat, is that the open hi-hat? Is that what sizzles for you? At 5.57 kilohertz. All right, percussion detail is good. Drum programming is good. Kick drum is good. The main thing I want to work on here is the layering, the instrument layering. So there's the high frequency part of the bass line, that buzzy part of the bass line. Then we have this, there's that sound. There's the vocals and like a second new bass line. And somehow all those things should not be happening all at the same time. At 245, it came in with the upper part of this new bass. And suddenly it got... Before that, it was nice and simple, and the bass was cool and bright and like just smooth. At 245, it got crowded. Really listen to the bass right here. That. Could you not introduce that upper bass line part? I'm not sure. The middle of the mid-range, like the upper end of the bass line, the lower end of the mid-range, it's a little too crowded around this area. So Matt, yeah, I was thinking that the closed hi-hats and the ticky hi-hats could be louder right here. So I was gonna phrase it as make the quiet hi-hats louder, but bringing the open hi-hat quieter would also serve that purpose. Okay. Song structure is awesome, no problems with that. Awesome drop right there. Lyrics are cool, vocals are popping through. Do we hear the bass line by itself? Ian Waters, go home and hoover your front yard. You're welcome, always happy to have you here. Secretly, I think DJ Waters has the same IQ as his BPM, like 200. Yeah, for me, the bass line, it only needs to do that in the whole track. Right here. This is a really good picture of the instruments that work. Bow, 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 bow. Ooh. That second bass note has way too much sub that you don't need. That's almost like a kick drum. Boo. So for those bass line notes, the cool part is like, whoop, whoop. The really cool part of that bass line is below 200 hertz and above like 70 or 80. So I would use the pivot technique of a low shelf EQ, not a high pass filter, low shelf EQ. I would set your low shelf EQ at 90 hertz, take it down like minus 10 dB with a gentle Q shape so it's not like a spike. Take the low shelf down a lot, play the mix, listen to your kick drum, and then slowly roll the shelf EQ back up. That second bass note, there's like a super low thump in the bottom of that when it gets cleaned up to the right amount, you're not even gonna notice anything missing. Yeah. Way too much low end in that one bass note. And here, The mid-range is so nice. The bass is a little bit buzzy, but briefly. It's like a little mountain. Up, down. So right here, I really like the balance of the instrumental sounds. The synth, the upper part of the bass line and stuff. It all works really well. Other parts... It sounds like the second bass line is adding more notes. And it's a little bit muddy and it's not as clear. There's the vocal thing, a second bass line, and that synth part. So this part at 330, it does not have that simplicity of just the instruments grooving and stuff. Less is definitely more. Find a way to cut out one of the instrument layers at that part so you have the different voices coming in and out and they're not happening at the same time, if that makes sense. And that's a good problem to have because all the sounds are cool. Again, the sonic palette is awesome. Their sounds are classic Dinat style. It feels like samples. There's a little bit of synth. They have this staccato kind of like that kind of thing, which is really cool. So of course, across the course of the song, try to avoid having more than one mid-range sound competing. And you can interlace them in time or spread them apart in the stereo field or possibly EQ them a bit so they're not in the same frequency range. And try to avoid frequency clashing in the mid-range, especially like with the top end of the original bass line, then the new faster bass line. Maybe cut the original bass line at that point when the newer one comes in, because there is like a bass line with a faster rhythm. It's like do 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 do. I think that'll help. And this track is a great the bones of the track, great skeleton. You know, it's got what you need. All right, Tim Laws, Friday version 1. We are, wow. Feels like a deep. Let me check the changelog. Good opening, kicks right in. Okay, another new track, needs some mix work. Paul, I hate the beach. Total deep house tone right here. And now it goes to some bass kind of house bass line. Good hi-hats. I like those sounds a lot. Wait, something just came in that was like a metallic, glassy kind of thing. Right there? What was that? Right here. That. That's so cool. It's like a big different reverb, a totally brighter. That's good sound. What do you mean you hate the beach? How are you gonna come visit me in Hawaii? Sitting on sand, sweating, surrounded by screaming kids. All right, Tim, focusing. Good sounds in here. That one sound layer is gonna need a couple of little notch EQs at a few little frequency points later on in the mix, but so far it's so good. Oliver, I don't know Alexander Kowalski, but good snare drum, nice and like thin. Let's hear that vocal one more time. I could have a little more of that vocal, a little louder. some of the chords, again, down between 150 and 250 hertz. Some of those chords have a little bit of like a that frequency. One more time. If I cut out around 200, so the chords that are like doo 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 doo, don't let those get too built up in the low mids. I want to hear this transition sound again. Wait, do we get? Perfect. Shit. That sound. Doo, 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 doo. 155 hertz. Right there from like 125 up to 250. Just EQ that down a bit. Pivclit, his music makes you want to do K and dance on the marshmallow floor. Oh, that's nice. Aww. Where was that gap with the new vocal? That. That was great. Check out how we got into that. Riser, tape stop, and then it's nice and simple. And these hi-hats again. Wow, 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 what was that? Unexpected percussion break, that was cool. Watch out around like 1.3K, 2K. Matt, vocal needs a little bit of love, a little reverb. Yeah. Oliver, not a fan of the bass line. I could understand that. The bass line is kind of like an aggressive, growly sort of thing. Also, from the beginning, at this part, we're expecting like a soft, round, deep bass line that's kind of slower. Something like that. But here we get more like something from like a dubstep genre. Wow, wow. So it makes sense the bass line is a bunch more aggressive than a deep vibe would be. Stylistic choice. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah, this crystally metallic sound. 1.7. There's a couple little spikes in that that are kind of sharp. All right. There you go, all by yourself. Bonk. All right, cool. Bit of EQ on that chord sound. I'm gonna leave the comments at mostly things that need to be EQ'd a bit to fit together in the mix, and leave it at that for now. Oliver, too much, more like the bass line has too much syncopated rhythm stuff. In between has less notes. Subjective. Well, that's a good point, because that is a busy track. Matt commented like maybe the mix is a bit crowded, and if the mix has a lot of sounds and there's a lot of rhythmic stuff happening, the whole track can feel like chaotic, like like tons of stuff coming at you. So Tim, if you could simplify a bit and maybe not have quite as many chopped up like layers on top of each other, so it has like a little bit more of a continuous feel. But that's also subjective. So I'm trying to describe the comments and make it helpful. So let's see, Sunscape version 3. 2-second gap, tricking me out. I like how your tracks kick in solid from the beginning. It's very much like we just started. Bonk. We have a changelog on Sunscape. All right, track from a while back, working out the elements and mix. I like that bleep. Bloop. And what is it, 120? Got a couple tracks left. I think we'll be good. Big clap. That riser is cool, but don't use it too often. I like that bleep. That one. Bloop. I think the clap could come down a little bit in volume. Sounds a bit 80s with a huge reverb clap. Take that maybe down a little bit. Now we're in a different zone. Yeah, okay, so that sound that goes, it's a cool sound, but it's getting a little bit overused. We heard it like 3 or 4 times already. Good kick drum bumps right there. Yeah. Oh. All right, you tricked me with that one, that lead that got morphed out. And that's getting a bit chaotic where we have, so there's a synth lead that goes, and then it morphed and turned into kind of a lead synth. So that was cool that at that part, that sound changed around 2 minutes and did something different. It's too soon to bring in also a chopped up vocal sample right here. A minute 50 is like, there's too many new sounds coming in at once. And now there's a synth pad coming in. I would save the synth pad for this breakdown. In other words, space it out so that you only have a new sound entering one at a time and you let it breathe for like 8 or 16 bars and then get to the next thing. Oliver, that's a great comment about the swing. Degrading the groove from a 16th to 30-second hi-hat. Right here. And there's a roll in the hi-hat. Okay. Yeah, the closed hi-hat and the open hi-hat, it's not super tight. It's kind of, I like the sounds. Okay, so for comments in general and compared to these two tracks together, it's cool to have like these sort of aggressive bassline sounds and a style of stuff coming at you all the time. But in general, don't introduce a whole bunch of sounds right at the same time because the track gets chaotic, the mix feels too crowded. We can't appreciate the sounds that just came in. And overall, that makes the track feel like, it's like doing too much at once. So, and that's an advantage because you have cool sounds and the track can stay interesting. You can use those sounds over time at different sections to keep the track interesting. So it never gets boring, never kind of falls flat, or it never feels like, why is this just dragging on and on and on forever? what you can do is use those new sounds later on to keep it fresh and drop out one of the old sounds so the track is constantly evolving over time. And that'll also make it much easier to mix because you're not trying to fit too many sounds into a mid-range area. So I'm going to move on from that one. I hope that's useful enough to get going. So what do we got? AFL, Mindbender, AFL, the palindrome. Let's do a little Mindbender because we haven't heard him yet today. Hope you had a good gig last night. I don't think Martin's watching, but he was playing a show with like good crowd, good names, good sound system. And he said that the masters from Techno Volume 1 that Pivclit did from Den Mastering, DEHN Mastering, he said they sounded great on a big system and the crowd really reacted, which is super nice to hear. Wow. Rule of 2. 2 in, 2 out at a time. Yes, not more than 2. All right.
Went through the second set of doors, and it was just this big open space.
Okay, so I'm looking at this. It could be a playable master. I think the reverb is a little bit big. So on the opening, the snare and hi-hat reverb space is really big. The low end is clear, but the drums and the ticky-ticky.
The second set of doors, and it was just this big open space.
Great vocal, nice message too, a big open space. Just out of curiosity, let's go in mono. Okay, a lot of that mid-range synth is disappearing in mono. Bow, bow, bow.
Big cavernous space. It was a very sacred space. There was a big mirror ball. And then there was this gentleman standing there who looked quite mystical. He was playing records on this sound system that was just out of this world.
That kick drum. All right, hold on. I think there's too much stereo width. Yeah. Here's mono. It feels like we just lose a lot in mono. Kick is beautiful though.
Went through the second set of doors, and it was just this big open space.
Yeah, that organ part in the mid-range. Okay, so maybe a little too wide. That kick drum though, wow.
And then there was this gentleman standing there who looked quite mystical.
I like the vibe. I think for Mindbender, the only thing he ever really does as a consistent thing to him that we need to improve is maybe going too wide with the mixes. Yeah. Good comments. The room between the monitors feels empty. Like the sides are huge, the middle is like hollow. I think Martin will know what to do with that. Matt Schultz, don't forget to EQ the reverb. Here we got some acid bleeps coming in. I love that low end. Great vibe, man. So song structure, vibe, energy, all good. Unfortunately, and I hate to skip through tracks. Ooh, right here. Total groove. Little bit of like a breakbeat. Yes. Solid. Beautiful. I like that sound. Clock. Free samples right here. Anybody want a drum loop? All right, cool. Basically, stereo issues are the only thing really going on with that. Everything else is cool. And I like the story that this person is telling.
Mystical, he was playing records on his sound system that was just out of this world.
She had a dream about a guy playing records on a sound system. I love stories like that, where you understand the words, but you have no idea what they're talking about. So cool, Mindbender. I don't know how much you want to work on this track again, but maybe a bit of stereo treatment or a bit less stereo treatment to just do a mono mix, make sure that the mid-range synth pads and reverbs and stuff are all clear in mono, possibly a little less reverb, and then bring it back. Let's do this one, and then we'll finish up with AFL tracks. Oh yeah, I think you did. I think he put up a video on Discord of this track from last night with some strobe lights and stuff. Matt Schultz, maybe top end down 2 dB, mid range up a little bit, possibly. $130. This feels like a peak time. Going up. People are gonna freak right here. Okay, so at the end of this build up, some of the high mid range, right around here. Some of that was a little bit too much mid range high stuff. There we go. Man, constant buildups. Drops. Wow.
You know what I think? Oh yeah.
Here we have Change Law. So, stems. Interesting, he said that this came from audio stems that he usually uses in a live set. Now he just took the audio stem files and put it into a track. So it's kind of like you're hearing a live set that's recorded as a 2-mix. Yeah. Let's just skip through and take some moments. That synth is so raw. Stereo motion.
The state of the world.
I can see this working at a big party for sure. Yeah, Matt, I'm wondering that too. Like, at least 4. I mean, if the drums were like a stereo stem file for the high end of the drums, maybe it could be like kick, acid, high-ended drums. It's at least 4, right? I like these moments like this where everything goes away and just... Sick. I have questions about this one mostly. I'm not going to try and give mix advice, understanding what we're doing. So for anybody who maybe doesn't know, so if you're DJing and you have audio files that are like warped and layers of a track cut in pieces, so like maybe a kick drum by itself, maybe a stereo drum mix, maybe just an acid synth line, and then you're mixing those in on top of a DJ set. So what we're hearing right now is basically like a 9-minute live set made from different separate audio layers that could be mixed in live during a show. So think about this as kind of like a live set, not as a track that's going to be for purchase on a record, you know? And it works really well. It's going through a lot of different phases. And overall, there's a good level of consistency. Like you can dip in different moments and you hear like kick drum, hi-hats, acid synth. So it's nice the consistency is there. The bottom end feels like kind of the same pressure level all the way through. The synths are all over the place getting tweaked. And the other thing I noticed is that there's like a constant build up and drop happening all the time. Like every 8 bars, something's going up, something's getting bigger, and then it comes back in. So Morton, that is super cool. I'm not sure what kind of feedback you want on it. I think you probably got your feedback at the gig last night from the crowd. So I'm interested to hear more of what you're going to do with that. Or since we've been talking about sample packs a bunch, what are you possibly going to issue some of that as a sample pack of like audio layers that people could use as a live set or something? I know DJ Waters is building some samples. Was Piv doing that also? I would love it. Anything I could do to help out with people in the group to take the sounds they love, put them into a sample pack, promote it, and put it up for sale or something like that through our group or on Discord, or to maybe like put it out as something we all use and make a track with it. I'm open to all those ideas. I think that's super fun. And it's a good way to share the creativity of people in the group in a way that other people can play with. So let me know if you want to do more with that, anybody, and we can put some stuff together. It's 1:40. I'm feeling like it's almost time to be done here. Let's see what AFL has. Hurricane version 4. And I'll do a little bit of end credits. So remember, coming up Friday is House Volume 1, our first release of house tracks I'm super excited about. 14 tracks, really good to listen to, chill out and energetic. It's on Bandcamp, and it's available for pre-order right now. I learned this cool thing about Bandcamp that you can make one track available. So if you buy the pre-order, you get a Mindbender track today. Like the day you buy it, you get one track, and then on Friday the 26th, the whole thing unlocks. So that's coming up. And also coming up before the end of the month, I'll say, how to EQ your tracks with hands-on Ableton projects where you learn by doing it inside live. Early access version, which means you get to beta test, do module 1 for free. Give me some feedback on anything that's glitchy, anything that didn't work right, so I can get it in shape for the full release. And I'll let you know when that comes out. So here we are, standing in a hurricane. So far, this sounds like a cool track. I don't have any comments yet. Version 4 filled in the gaps for the drums, narrowed the stereo width a little bit. Here's mono. And stereo. Yeah, you should be able to tell a difference when you go from stereo to mono. It's always noticeable. But in mono, you should still hear all the sounds. You don't want to like completely lose a sound when you collapse to mono. I like this low end. Oh, good. Wait. The last time we heard this, there were some gaps where the kick drum was dropping out and having like that stutter rhythm too often, and it became confusing of which song section we were in. So it looks like John just put in straight kick drums all the way through the intro. I think that's when I felt comfortable and started talking about promo because everything was working fine. So that's a situation where he fixed something, totally removed a problem, and I didn't even notice, which is good. Mix is sounding good. I think this is going to be ready for mastering. I don't hear any. AFL coming with the cool samples. There's the track title. That kick drum is great, man. Low end is really nice and deep. The kick and the bass are separate. You can hear them both and they fit together nicely. I think we're done. Maybe in mastering 1.1K could come down just a tiny bit, but not really, not a problem. All right, getting some claps. D, big D. Sometimes in track feedback, we just hear some edits. This is a great example of a track that had some issues which threw me out of the track. I was listening to it and I was like, that kick drum is fucking me up. Solved that problem, didn't even notice, feels done, ready for mastering. So we're just gonna say good job on that one. And Dubs version 4, kick smacked me in the right parts. That's special. What do we got on version 4? Discord says restructured kick and open hat, raised the frequency slightly on the sub bass, okay, and some little minor mix notes. Okay, so far the sub bass sounds good. Thanks everybody for hanging out with me on Sunday, by the way. Sorry I had to switch days. It's about 2 weeks until I have my whole house packed into a container, shipping out to the island. Interesting times. This is Matt Schultz territory. This feels good. Beat coming in. those beats right there. Boom, boom, boom. That's a good rhythm. Yeah, Matt, the dub chords. Right there. Boop, boop, boop. Good ear candy right there, that reverse thing. Look at the high frequency spikes on that bass sound. That's cool. So far, so good. This could be another done track. Solid. It's energetic enough that it's not dub techno exactly. Like, you could play this in a chill house set, but it has the tone of like the soft dubby stuff. This is a great place to be in. Good blend. Oliver is still here, yeah. AFL does stuff a little bit like the OSP mixes. Little special rhythmic variations. Nice and simple right here. Good stereo field. There's mono. And the structure is working. Stays interesting. A lot of variations. Not too many sounds at once. Yeah, man. Coming in with the open. Seems like there's a lot of places with no beat. It gives like a anticipation. I like it. I like it. I think I'm gonna say. Good details. Nice work. So, AFL, I think you got 2 tracks getting the Big D award this week. Ready for a mastering treatment. And there's that little plinky sound at the end. Good shit. I'm gonna say this one's ready for mastering. Put it in a group of reference tracks, get them all up to the same kind of overall vibe, and get that out. 147. This is a little long. I try to keep track feedback down to 2 hours or less. And actually, I'm seriously thinking after I get to my new studio that maybe 3 days of track feedback every week might be the way to go. So we could have like a 1 hour session, hit some tracks, go deep on each track, never be rushing, and not have people sit through a 2 hour replay trying to find their track. I would like to make track feedback super useful and just always awesome. And then actually, if we have 3 days a week, we could have a little more space for people to come in and join the group as they're signing up for courses like how to EQ your tracks. Another new element of this track is that we have a really active Discord server, and I've created some space for each course. So people who are doing the EQ course are gonna have a channel just to post their own mixes and say, hey, I'm working on my EQing, how does it sound? Here's a 1 minute loop. And we don't have to talk about sound design or composition. You can only talk about EQing in the mix for direct feedback right away on that track. And by the way, Discord just upgraded our upload limit, so you can upload 500 megabytes, I think, in our server, which is great. So you don't even have to go through and like export your mix and put it on SoundCloud and get the link and type in the tags and everything. You could just literally take your audio file, export it from live, drag it into Discord, and get feedback on your EQ homework right there in Discord, which I think is super cool. So I'm really excited about how these things are coming together with our community, the artists, people making sample packs, people putting out records. Piv is doing some mastering on some great projects from other people in the group. And if we have any way I can possibly take your music and show it off in a cool way and get more people to hear it, that's what I want to do. Like teaching live streams with your sample packs, or taking a mix from somebody in the group, doing a live stream on mixing and showing how do we solve the problems of those chords with a 200 hertz low end problem, or what do we do to like glitch out some variations and make cool sound design to keep it interesting? I love teaching this stuff. The more I can show other people's music and use that in our live streams to promote your music, that's what I want to do, because that's more fun for me. So last time, Friday the 26th, House Volume 1 is going to open up for full release. And you can grab the album right now and get this track from Mindbender. Super good jam. A lot of talent on this album. And you can get it on pre-order right now. So before I talk all day, I'm gonna go drink some coffee, wash my dishes, take a shower, and go back to bed. Thanks so much for hanging out, everybody. I'll see you back for track feedback on Wednesday.